Good morning, it's travel day. My first flight got delayed, so I'm currently going to arrive like an hour later than I was supposed to, which is very exciting. I'm just hanging out with Toby. We're gonna leave in a couple minutes, so yeah. The first thing I had to do when I got to the airport was check my checked bag in. The way that it was set up with these flights, my bag would transfer all the way through to when I got to Hamburg. So that was pretty nice. I wouldn't have to take it out when I got to Frankfurt like you usually have to in other countries. Then after that, I said goodbye to my parents and headed to the security checkpoint. After I got through security, I just went and sat at the gate and waited for the plane to come. Okay, made it through security in Boise. They had to pat down my gummy bears because apparently those are dangerous. So my flight is delayed until like 1:15 and it's currently like 12. So I'll have 30 minutes in San Francisco to run to the other side. So we'll see how that goes. The flight ended up getting delayed a second time, so I didn't board the plane until 2 p.m. So I was getting really nervous about having to run across the entire San Francisco airport to make my flight. The flight itself went well. They gave us a little snack and I got some apple juice. And then it was time to fly into San Francisco. Before we even landed, the pilot announced that we'd have to go into a 15-minute flight pattern hold because there was another airplane in the San Francisco runway that was currently having an emergency. So now I was even later than originally expected, and at this point, I didn't even think I would make my connection flight, which was really frustrating. As soon as I got off the plane, I was running as fast as I could across the airport to try and make it to the international terminal, which of course was across the entire airport. I was hoping that my bag would get there on time too. And when I finally made it all the way to the end of the international terminal, I saw my plane out the window, but nobody was at the check-in counter and the gates were closed. Oh my gosh. So the next thing I had to do was figure out what the heck to do. I called my mom and was like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. There's nobody at any of the gates in the international terminal. So she told me to go back to where I came from and see if there was like a help or service desk for United. So I walked all the way back to the other side of the airport. And when I saw the help desk, the line was insanely long. There was gate 11, then the service desk, then gate 13. And it stretched all the way past gate 13 to the arrival and departure boards. Once I got in line for the service desk, I called Frosh, which is the travel agency that booked my flights originally. I talked with a super nice lady as the agent and she set me up with a whole new set of flights. Lucky for me, there was a flight actually leaving to Frankfurt at 6 p.m. So I only had to wait 3 hours until I boarded that flight. So then I walked all the way back to the international terminal, got a really expensive sandwich that wasn't even that good because that's what airports like to do. And I called my mom again just to give her another update. And then it was boarding time for the second flight to Frankfurt. Alright guys, finally made it on to the flight. I'm in the middle, but I got an aisle. And there's nobody sitting next to me yet, so very hopeful. But yeah, see you in Frankfurt. The flight from San Francisco to Frankfurt was the longest part of the trip for a grand total of 10 hours and 30 minutes. So after I got situated in my seat, it turns out an older couple was sitting right here, and then there was the empty seat, and then it was my seat here. So I just kind of settled down at first. The old lady decided to put all of her stuff on the empty seat, and then later in the flight decided to use it as her headrest as she slept. So that was kind of annoying because she was like taking up the armrest, and so I was just kind of sitting like this the whole flight. But before we left, keep this in mind, I have an air tag in my checked bag. So I checked the air tag on the app and it was still in the terminal. So I was like, uh-oh, this could be bad. So I was like, I won't worry about it until I get to Frankfurt. I'm just glad that I'm on this flight. After we had leveled out in the sky, they served us our dinner, which was a quinoa and chicken mix. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was pretty good. Then there was a little salad, a little dessert, and then they had like a bread roll as well. So that was really good considering the only thing I'd eaten all day so far was that sandwich from the airport. And then after that, I watched a movie to wind down, and then I tried to sleep for most of the rest of the flight. Then once we were about 3 hours outside of landing in Frankfurt, they served us a breakfast. I got the waffles and blueberries option, then they had some more fruit, and then they had a croissant. So that was really good. I did enjoy that meal a lot. So I packed all my things up on the plane and I was ready to go and find my next gate for Hamburg. So when I got to Frankfurt, more of the realization kind of set in that I was actually in Germany. All of the airport signs, the main language is in German, so that was really cool to finally see. And I had a longer layover time for this one, so I kind of just casually walked all the way across the airport, went through the immigration, which was pretty easy. He just asked me how long I was staying and why I was going to Germany. And then I told him I was going to get a visa for staying here for 5 months, so then he stamped my passport. And then my gate was on the other side of the airport, so I walked all the way over there. And then the plane to Hamburg was delayed for another 15 minutes in order for them to clean it. So I checked my phone, and it turns out my bag was still in San Francisco. So that was cool. At this point in the trip, I think I was just so overwhelmed with everything that was going on, and it was definitely starting to show. My bag was still in the United States. My flights had been canceled and delayed and changed and all of this stuff. And I was just ready to finally be where I needed to be. So on the flight, I just kind of tried to relax and take another nap to calm down. They gave us a little chocolate as our snack, so that definitely helped with my stress a little bit. And overall, it was a very smooth flight. When I finally got to the Hamburg airport, the Wi-Fi wasn't working on my phone, so I couldn't contact my resident director, David, or any of the other students that were waiting for me at the airport so that we could take the train to Luneburg. So I felt really bad when I was at the airport and not able to contact them for an extra 30 minutes trying to figure out my baggage and that kind of stuff. I did end up waiting by the baggage claim for my plane just on the odd chance that the bag was there, but it was not. So I had to go and wait in the help desk line to see if they could help me figure out how to file a claim. And it ended up just having to be done online. So it was pretty easy. I had to do it once I got to my host family's house. After I got all of that sorted, then I exited the baggage claim area out into the pickup terminal, and David was waiting for me at the meeting spot with another USAC student who had gotten in a little bit later, just like me. And we took the train back to the Hamburg Hauptbahnhof, and then took a train from the train station all the way to the Luneburg train station. So in the end, my baggage is still in San Francisco, and I have been wearing the same outfits for the entire week. I have 2 shirts, 2 pants, and that's it. So It's been kind of a struggle, but I've just done laundry once already, so at least they're clean, I guess. But yeah, that's basically it for this week's vlog. My travel experience was definitely a chaotic one, and I'm still waiting for my luggage to show up, but last I checked it was in Hamburg, so fingers crossed it will get here in the next couple days. So see you in the next video.